Isn't the challenge to the president not the collusion question, but the interference question? And wouldn't that be the tough questions for him?
So here's what I think. I think the president believes that if we pursue how Russia interfered with the election, we're suggesting he did not win fairly. I see no evidence of the president's campaign colluding with the Russians. I see all kind of evidence of the Russians trying to destroy our election and destroy democracy throughout the world. There will be a bill passed this coming week to punish Russia for interfering in our elections. They hacked into the DNC, Podesta's emails. It was the Russians. They're providing arms to the Taliban to kill American soldiers. They colluded with Assad so he could keep his chemical weapons. And I think they were complicit in the attack of chemical weapons by Assad on children in Syria. We're going to punish the Russians. Any member of the Congress who doesn't want to punish Russia for what they've done is betraying democracy. And if the president doesn't sign this bill to punish Russia, he would be betraying democracy.
What do you think he'll do?
I think he'll sign it, and if he doesn't sign it, we're going to override his veto. Mr. President, the Russians did this. They're doing it all over the world. They're providing arms to the Taliban to kill our soldiers. You're the commander-in-chief. You need to stand up to Russia. We're never going to reset our relationship with Russia until we punish them for trying to destroy democracy, and that starts with more sanctions.
The RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, said that the congressional investigations into this question of collusion should go away. They're a fishing expedition. What's your response to that?
That's none of your business. We're going to do what we think is best. The Russians interfered in our election. They're doing it all over the world. No evidence yet that the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians. I don't believe the president colluded with the Russians just because of the way he behaves. There's zero evidence that President Trump did anything wrong with the Russians. There's overwhelming evidence that Russia is trying to destroy democracy here and abroad. And if you forgive and forget with Putin, you're going to get more of the same, and you're going to entice Iran and China to come in 2018 and 2020. So to any Republican who believes Russia didn't do it, you're wrong. To any Democrat who wants to impeach President Trump because of Russia, you're wrong. All I can say is there's a lynch mob mentality about the Trump administration in the press. They're about as fair as a lynch mob, but these tweets that he does feeds that lynch mob. You're your own worst enemy here, Mr. President. Knock it off.
Let me ask you a question here about health care, which is moving through. I don't want to leave without talking about this.
Pretty good for 7 minutes, yeah.
Mitch McConnell has said he wants to get something passed by the 4th of July. On health care, you had said we're trying to do too much, too quick as Republicans. We're running through stop signs.
Yeah.
Is by July 4th running through a stop sign?
We need to bring this to an end. The House bill is dead in the Senate. The 10% of support by the American people for the House bill. The House members are mad at us for not taking up health care. Well, send us a bill that'll get 12% of support. The bottom line is the Senate is divided between Medicaid expansion states, non-Medicaid expansion states, the proper role of government. Mitch is trying to bring this together. It's going to be tough. My advice is if we can't replace Obamacare by ourselves, to go to the Democrats and say this: 10% of the sick people in this country drive 90% of the cost for all of us. Let's take those 10% of really sick people, put them in a federal managed care system so they'll get better outcomes and save the private sector market if we can't do this by ourselves. That's a good place to start.
All right, we're going to have to end it there. Senator, thank you so much for being with us.